Good morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Badhun Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional IGP is a training faculty for skill development, which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to student job seeker, job holder, and also for learner to respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar, seminar, courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love, light, and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1,611 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1,611 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. So create your account for once with proper information. Note that with proper information, you will enjoy our feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace Slido. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download your certificate of gratitude. If you are an online live quiz competition winner, then you can download your certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in any award function which organizes combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 types of instant certificates from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influencer during the pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities during the pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2021, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskilling Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research and Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching a Special Program in the Arts, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1000 plus international level quiz with verified e-certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our 50 plus payment services website for free and many more. Dear IGP will be sure we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous credential. We solved all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check out your dashboard of all webinar details. It's a cordial request to you check all button and pages on our website. Surely I can say you will be benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1612 webinar, which name is 5 critical skills leaders must have. And today our speaker's name is Hachi Kian. He is from Malaysia. Before I hand over the speech to our speaker, sir, I want to share a very little bit about him. International leadership trainer, corporate trainer and coach, founder, Clevery Business Solution, SDN, BSD, training and development company. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Sir, the stage is here. You can start your presentation now.
All right, sure. Thank you. Can I start? Is it? Hello? All right. Good morning, everybody. and around the world, good afternoon as well. Yeah, my name is Ha. Yeah, so the topic today is 5 critical skills leaders must have, and I think this is very important because basically I train leaders. I would like to build leaders, leaders that are capable enough to be able to create impact in their work, for their own life, for their work, and maybe even for the world. Yeah, so these are 5 critical skills leaders must have. So I applaud you all to pay attention, and hopefully you can pick up some very important skills that can actually help you along the way. Yeah. So is it okay if I introduce myself a little bit more so that get to know me first, then before I go into this? All right, Ken. So I've been in training and development for the past 12 years now. Yeah, and this is what I do. My mission is to actually create more leaders in my country, create more leaders in the world. I believe leaders are the one that make things happen. So it's better to have more leaders. Yeah. And prior to my leadership and development training career and business, before that, I was actually an engineer by qualification in terms of education. So for the past 16 years before this, I was in the manufacturing industries, in the engineering field, working specifically in the operation, product development of the company. Yeah. So this is one of my 2 biggest wins, I would say, as far as my career is concerned, is that I helped an elevator company. I was there with the Italian elevator company for 7 years. I was there for 7 years, from a startup of about 100,000-200,000 to 6 million ringgit Malaysia turnover within 4 years, and we only 15 people in our team. Yeah, and the other one I also throughout the whole 16 years experience as an engineer and as a manager as well, I've always been helping companies to save millions of dollars of ringgits Malaysia throughout. So on average, I've counted at least $1 million ringgit a year. Yeah, so these are some of the qualifications that I have. Yeah, and for the past 12 years now, I've been helping over 7,000, 8,000 corporate managers and executives to be high performance leaders and to be able to create meaningful results for the company. These are some of the companies that I have. So is it okay? This is my professional side. Is it okay if I share my personal side as well? Yeah, a little bit, yeah, so that you get to know me. So I'm obsessed with physical fitness and physical endurance kind of sports. So for those who know Spartan, how many of you are familiar with Spartan? Yeah, Spartan race. So this is what I'm crazy about right now, obstacle course racing. So in 2017, I started embarking into this. And what is Spartan? These are the people, the elites in the Spartan, right? Look at them, look at their body, right? How I wish, and I want my dreams to be like them. Yeah. So what is Spartan? It's an obstacle course racing, like rope climbing, climbing over slippery wall, muddy wall, sandbag carries, dunking into water, swimming, barbed wire crawl. Yeah, real barbed wires are not just a string. And then climbing over walls, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet walls. Yeah. Then also more carries, monkey bar, Tarzan swing, climbing over things and jumping over fires. These are some of the things I like to do. And these are some of the sports I love to do it, because it actually challenges me not only physically, but more importantly for me is to challenge me mentally and emotionally. Because when we are going through tough things, this is where our mental and emotion will start to question us. Why are we doing this? Yeah, especially right now, I'm already 50 years old and I'm still doing things like this. I think it's something that I say, good. It's something that I love to be proud of. Yeah. So in 2017, I did 3 races. I continue again 3 races again in 2018. And I tell myself I'm going to do this every year if I can, as long as I can live. So in 2019, I continue again, 3 more races. And then the COVID pandemic came. It was stopped in 2020 and 2021. But 2022, it started back again. But only 2 races in Malaysia, unfortunately. So I missed 1 medal. A bit disappointed about this. But I was also participating in other sports like Viper Challenge and as well in 2022. So this year, Spartan came back in full force, and I've already done 2 races, and this was 2 races in one event, run 2 together of 10 km and 5 km. And in October, there'll be another one. I could be running 3 races one go. So why am I sharing with you this? First thing is that I encourage you to try out Spartan. If you love Spartan, you can try it out. It's a good way to challenge yourself. But as for me, I use Spartan race, obstacle course race like Spartan, to actually train myself, consistently train myself every month, every year, on how to keep myself motivated to become the leader I want to be, because every day we face these challenges, right? And Spartan Race reminds me of the challenges, the toughness that we go through, and be strong enough to overcome any challenges. Yeah. So I encourage you all to go. Yeah. And I've also climbed up mountains. Mount Kinabalu, one of the tallest mountain in Malaysia this year as well. Okay. This is a little bit about me, and I hope that you kind of know me a bit more. Yeah. So, but more important right now is about you. Yeah. What's going to happen the next 1.5 hours with me here is to learn about the 5 critical skills leaders must have. Yeah. So let's get started, shall we? Are you ready? Yeah, you ready? Good. So the question I would like to ask right now is this: why are you here? For those who are here right now, watching me over the Facebook or YouTube, yeah, or online. So why are you here? Why did you sign up here and to learn for the next 1.5 hours, 2 hours? What is it that you want? There must be a good reason for you to be here, right? How many of you here would like to just waste 2 hours with me here just for nothing? Nobody wants to do that. So why are you here? So there's 2 questions as I get started into this training, this webinar. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Yeah, there must be perfectly good reasons for you to be here today. Isn't it true? So question number 1 is this: what do you hope to gain from this program today? What do you hope to gain from this webinar today? Okay, ask yourself and try to figure out the answers to this. Number 2, okay, very important. Suppose what you hope for actually becomes true, actually comes true. Yeah, how would that make a difference for you in your work and life? Very important question. Yeah, I want you to think about this. So what is it? Why are you here? What do you hope to achieve? And suppose whatever you hope to achieve actually happens, how will that help you in your work and life? Yeah, please take a moment to think about this as we move on in our training. Yeah. Okay, keep that in mind. So let's get started. Yeah. So first thing I would like to ask is this: did you know that a leader can make or break a company? Yeah? I'm talking about a leader as in the sense that corporate leadership, or even company leadership, or even your country leadership. Okay, or maybe even at home, you as a leader, if you are the man of the house, or maybe the lady of the house. Yes, whoever is in charge of the house. Yeah, you are a leader, right? You have kids. How many of you have kids? How many of you are married? Yeah, have kids. So are you a leader to your children? Of course you are. Yeah. So did you know that as a leader, not necessarily just by title, right? But you as a person, as a leader, who are responsible for someone else or somebody in your team. Yeah. Did you know that you can actually make and break it if you want? Yeah, that's why leadership is important, right? Whether what kind of leaders you are can make a difference. You can actually make a difference to the world on a big scale, or you can break the world if you want to, if you like to. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do if you really want to break the world. Yeah. So, but the thing is this: all of us may think that we have all the leadership that we want, but the true test of leadership is in time of crisis. During the crisis moment, how do we act and react during times of crisis? Is what defines us as a leader. It's what's going to test us as a leader. Yes. So, for example, 2 years ago, 3 years ago already, 2020, 2021, there was a pandemic. How did you react during the time? How did you see other people react during this time? Are you happy with it? Are you disappointed with it? Are you proud of that, the way you are? So this is how we all do it. Yeah? It's during the time of crisis, how do you handle this? So if I link back to the Spartans race that I have done earlier on, why do I use that as a training ground or the training, my training platform? It's because that when I'm running, challenging all these obstacles, running the 15 kilometer or even 21 kilometer, going through all these obstacles, do you think my mental will be challenged and question me, why am I doing this? Why do I have to suffer through all these things for? That is the one that I need to constantly train myself so that I know what I have to do when the real time comes. Yeah, make sense? Yeah. So the true test of leadership is in time of crisis. So we need to prepare right now. So what is leadership? You need to be, someone is expecting someone to lead. We are all looking up to someone to lead. And if you can't find a person, my question is that, why not you? Can it be you? Yeah. So we need to stand up. Yeah. We need to actually develop ourselves to a level that we can just stand up on our own, be highly visible and be credible so that people know that we are capable of doing things that other people can't do it. Yeah. So hence here we're talking about leadership development. We need to build ourselves. We are not born a leader. Not many people. Some are, but majority of us are not born a leader. Yeah. And even for you back in school, does the school teach you how to be a leader? Do we learn how to be a leader in school? Most of the time, no, right? We don't. School don't teach us. Maybe school teaches us the academic in terms of mathematics and physics and science and everything, but they don't teach us how to be the leader we want to be. Yeah, the school teaches how to solve problems. Yeah, the school teaches how to execute, get things done. How do you plan, strategize? Do they have a subject on this? They don't, right? We actually learn it as we go along from the projects that we have, and these are all very, very informal as we go along. People teach and you learn as you go along. Yeah, but this is where we want to start from now, to start developing ourselves constantly, becoming the better leader. Yeah. So the three things I want to talk about in leadership is this: becoming able to lead yourself first, lead myself first, yeah, and then lead others. If you cannot lead ourselves, okay, how can we lead others? Okay, number one, you want to become a leader, you need to be able to lead other people. So leading ourselves is important. Number two is be able to solve problems. Leaders are expected to know how to solve problems. As leaders are the one that go outside to the world and solve problems, find problems and go and solve it. Especially solving problems that's not their own but other people's problem, and try to make the world a better place. Yeah. Number three is to know how to execute, strategize, execute, and to actually go get the results. Ultimately, is to get the results. Yes. Yeah, if you cannot get results, it's all just talk. But most important is the leaders can actually create the results that you want, and actually get the results that you want. So these are three things that you could be learning today. Yeah, becoming a responsible and resourceful leader that can actually create the result that you want. Yeah. So here we are. What are the 5 critical skills leaders must have? Ready? Yeah. So I'll start off right now. Yeah. So number one. These are a framework for leadership, yes? So I'm going to share with you what are these 5 critical skills. Number one is leadership, becoming the leader. Step up as a leader and start leading. If you all lead on every level, you are not talking about big levels, on a very small level, back at home first, for example. If you are a brother or a sister to someone else, you are a leader, right? And if you are married, you are the parents. Okay, your parents to your children, you are a leader, right? In your own neighborhood community, in your school, in your company, as you expand, you can be a leader. So step up as you go along. Yeah, number one, becoming the leader. They're responsible enough. Number two, problem solving. We must know how to solve problems. Yeah, otherwise, how can we be that leader, right? People expect the leader to know how to solve the problems, even though sometimes we may not know. But people expect the leader to know how to solve problems. So here, I'm talking about resourcefulness, becoming resourceful enough to know how to get things done. Not get things done, to find solutions. You may not, I or you may not know it, but if we are resourceful enough, we know how to find the solutions for it. Yeah. Number 3, execution. How do we strategize? How can we strategize and actually execute to get the results? And this is where the results matters, because ultimately it's the results. If you are the person who are able to generate results, achieve results, create results for people, for yourself, then you will become very, very valuable. At work, if you're working for your company, for your boss, if you can generate results, or you can actually create results or achieve the results that the boss or the company wants, do you think you're valuable? Of course, right? This is what the companies are paying you for. This is what the customer is paying you for, right? And this is where we want to be able to generate the results they want. Truly meaningful results. And these are the 3 very important skills I mentioned earlier on. But there's 2 more, right? 2 more skills. Okay, these 2 more skills, I'll call it supporting skills. Yeah, we need this in order to be a good problem solver, good executor, and becoming a good leader. What are these 2? Okay, communication skills. And the other one is collaboration skills. Sometimes we can, communication. How many of you agree that most of the problems that we face, or you face, most people face, right? I want you to think about this. Yeah, most of the problems that we face, big and small, isn't it because of communication? Most of the time, not all, but majority of the time is because of poor communication. I thought you understand that. You? How come you don't understand it? You should know already, right? By now. How come you don't? These are so simple calculation. You don't even know. A lot of assumption, a lot of things, and we don't communicate correctly. Or sometimes you say things like, Ayo, I thought you meant that. Okay, it's miscommunication. Yes. So communication is crucial. It's a bridge between our problem solving, execution, leadership, and everything. And within people, it's the communication. We need to be very, very good and effective, as good as we can, understanding how communication works so that we can be clear in how we communicate. Yeah. And then collaboration comes in because we can never do everything on our own. On a very small scale, tasks, issues, or projects, we can handle by myself or by yourself. We can do it ourselves. And you're going to do it by yourself, it's so much easier. Everything is under my control. However, on a big scale project, projects involving the country, for example, or project involving the whole company, for example, or even a project involving your whole family, sometimes you cannot do it alone. You need everybody in the family, the company, and the country to come together. Yes. Yeah. And this is where we need collaboration, teamwork and collaboration. How do you get people to work together? How do you get people to come together and support each other? Because otherwise, you can shout all you want. If nobody's going to support you, it's not going to work. Yeah. So these are the 5 skills. Yeah. So we're going to dive inside right now. Yeah. One by one. How does it work? In this short 2 hours webinar, yeah, I can't touch a lot, but I'm going to give you some very key important skills. Hopefully from there, you can actually spark your interest and go find out more and learn more. Yeah. So number 1 is leadership. Yeah. Like this light tower, lighthouse. Yeah. You are actually the beacon of hope. Yeah. People look up to you. You are the role model. But the first thing about leadership is what? Okay. Let me ask you, what is the key to success? What do you think are the key to success? Yeah, there's so many things, right? Everything is possible. You need to have the EQ. You need to have communication skills. You must be a problem solver. There's so many things. But what do you think are the key to success? Yeah, maybe you can key into the YouTube or Facebook. What do you think they are, in your opinion? Yeah, I want you to think for a little while. Yeah. So for me, as I go through studying other people, studying myself, studying people who are very successful, I realized one thing: if you want to be successful in anything you want to do, yeah, leadership is the key. Becoming the leader, step up and take responsibility because a leader is responsible. Would you agree? Yeah, a leader is responsible, right? If you're not willing to be responsible, can you be a leader? Probably not. Yes, but if you are willing to become a leader, chances are, I believe, that you are willing to step up, do whatever necessary, learn whatever necessary, find the right partners to work things out. You will take the responsibility to get things done. And these are the key to resources. And through leadership, you'll be learning. You'll be willing to learn. You're willing to change yourself. You're willing to take the necessary steps. Yeah, make the change, make the connection. Everything is through leadership. Because why? It's about responsibility. Yeah. So, and because of responsibility, I want to share with you this thing called the responsibility thought process. Okay, this is how we all process as we become responsible. Yeah. I want you to take a look. I want you to consider a situation where there's a big problems happen, either in the company. Let's look at the company. Everybody works, right? You're all working, right? If you're not working, if you're a student, let's say you are back in school, okay, and you have a project in school. Yeah? If you're working, let's talk about working. If you're a business owner, let's talk about business. Yeah, let's talk about something more general that everybody can understand. In school, as an employee at work, or even as a business owner. Okay, whenever there's a problem, okay, let's imagine. I want you to imagine. Whenever there's a problem, a big one that comes up, what usually happens? What are some of the emotions that you can see? Or what are some of the behaviors that you can see? Yeah, what do you think? Somebody say blame, for example. Okay, let me share out. Okay, as I go through this with you, yes, I want you to reflect and see whether it makes sense to you or not. Yeah, and this is a study done by the people many years ago. The first things, have you ever seen people who are in denial? When there's a problem that comes up, it's like, what problem? What problem? I don't see any problem. It's not a problem. Come on, it's no worries. Just let it be. You will pass. To them, they are total in denial. They don't even know. They don't even like what is that? What's happening? They don't even know, right? This is totally in denial. Yeah, there's one level of people. Okay, but after denial, when they finally realize it's a problem, what usually comes next? What do you think? blame, right? How many of you have finger pointing people before? Yeah, people start to blame. Yeah, it's because of this, because of that. How come they told them they never do? Blah, you start finger point, and everybody's gonna blame each other. The blame game begins because nobody wants to accept that they could be one of it. They're always about other people. Yeah, and when you blame and blame, and you can blame no more, what happens next? Then you start to justify or give excuses. Why is it happening? Because yeah, I'm part of it. Yeah, because no, I don't have the experience. I'm not tall enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not fat enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not old enough. All kinds of justification that comes inside to justify why we cannot do what we can do, since we cannot blame other people anymore. Yeah, and once you go past justification and you know that the problems happens maybe because of you are part of it, then there's two ways. Either you accept it or you don't. If you don't accept it, what happens? What can you see happen? You see people giving up, right? Or they quit. Give up. I don't know. I can't do this. It's not my things. Okay, it's my fault. Okay, I give up. Yeah. Or but are these all a leadership criteria? Is this a behavior of leaders? No, right? Yeah, you know that whenever there's a problem, we shouldn't be doing this. Yes. So what do you do? You need to take responsibility, right? So if we accept the issues at hand, the problems at hand, and we say we have to do something about it, and this is where we start to take responsibility. Yeah, and this is the one that we need to rise above on all this for. No denial, no blame, no justification, no quitting. Yeah, as the leaders doesn't quit. The leaders will do whatever we can to find a ways to get things done. Okay, even though it's our fault, even though it's not our fault, but we will do whatever we can. So we should not be in this area. You should not have this behavior. These are all the negative behavior that a leader shouldn't have. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have. I will still have it, but we want to be very clear and say that okay, we shouldn't stay here too long. We shouldn't stay in this here too long. You need to rise up and become responsible. Yeah, I know I'm in denial. I'm blaming a little bit. Then don't blame anymore. Don't justify anymore. Don't quit. Never give up. Let's be responsible. Let's do something about this. Yeah. So how many of you find that responsibility is a very heavy word? It's like, wow, everything is responsible. As a leader, everything you are responsible. Everything is your back to you. It's so heavy, right? Yeah. But sometimes that's the way it is, right? So I want you to change our language a little bit. Yeah. Instead of saying responsibility, is it okay if I ask you to take charge? How about taking charge? Yeah. Taking charge a bit more empowering, right? Yeah, because taking charge means I'm in charge. Yeah, I want to do this. Whereas being responsible, sometimes it could mean that, yeah, I don't want to do it, but I have no choice, right? Yeah, but anyway, it means the same thing. Yeah. So taking charge is about being accountable for the outcome. That means I'm willing to be accountable. I'm willing to be responsible for it. So I take charge. Yeah. So this is where the responsibility thought process. You look at it. I want you to think about it on your day-to-day when you are handling challenging tasks at work or in business or in school. Yeah. Do you go through this? Have you go through denial, blame, justification, thinking of quitting before you move up to taking responsibility? Yeah, when you think about it, even though sometimes say, okay, let's be responsible and take action, right? But I want you to think about it. Yeah, most people will go through denial stage, blame, justify, give up. We will maybe grumble in our head. We don't show it outside, but we grumble inside. Hey, why like that? No, that is the stage. Yeah. But understanding this gives you a little power to say that okay, now I'm in charge. I know this, and I don't want to stay in this denial phase, blame phase, justification phase, or give up phase. You want to stay out of it and move up. Yeah, and this is what leaders do. Yeah, when I talk about leadership, criteria number one is to become responsible and to actually take charge of our own destiny, our own results. Yeah, it means be responsible. Make sense? Yeah. Are you learning something? Yeah, this is number one. Okay, if you are not willing to be responsible, nothing else works. You will not become a leader. You may call yourself a leader, but you're actually not a very good leader. Yeah? A leader actually takes responsibility, and especially taking responsibility that is sometimes not their own, but for other people's, their teams. They also take responsibility and take charge of it. Yeah. Okay, got it? So how do you do this? Yeah, how do you actually grow yourself to become more and more responsible? Okay, so I'm going to share with you this thing called the problem code. Yeah, this is when you pay attention, very important. This thing here, when I finally learn, it gives me so much clarity and say, this is fantastic. Okay, number one, let's talk about the problem code. Okay, the cone here. Yeah. So as you move up to the cone, the size get bigger and bigger. As you move up, you can see that it's much bigger and bigger and bigger problems here. Correct? Yeah. So just for example, this is you. How many of you here would like to be bigger, stronger, more capable, becoming the leader you want, a bigger you? All of us here, right? So we need to actually grow as well. So in the beginning, right, whenever you start off in school or maybe say at work, whenever you start off something and your boss or your back in school, your lecturer or your senior give you some issue to do, and what do you do? So problem number one given to you. What happens when you have finished? What happens when you have solved problem number one or problem level number one? Yeah, what usually happens? You have problem number two, right? Is it bigger than? Is problem number two bigger than problem number one? Most likely it is, isn't it? Yeah, your boss will give you bigger problem. Yes, so you have problem number two. And once you have solved problem number two, what happens next? You're going to be given problem number three. Yeah, would you be staying at problem number two all the time? Probably not. Yes, that's why you're going to get you more and more challenges, and your boss is going to give you more and more bigger and bigger tasks as you go along, as you progress in years. And then from problem number three, you go to 4, you're going to start moving up. Yeah. And you will reach, and for most of us, you will reach a point at one point, maybe at level number 5, you say, okay, enough. I can't do anymore. Yeah. And this is the emotional barrier. Yeah. Emotional ceiling. For some, it's because that you do not have the skills anymore. I do not know how to do this. I maybe from here, you are being asked to promote to become a manager, okay, or become a team leader. And you're like, I don't know how to lead people. I don't know how to take care of other people. I'm good at doing my things, but I don't know how to handle other people. And this is where the emotional ceiling is. Yeah. But would you just stay where you are and say, I'm not going to take it up? Of course not, right? This is where the challenge is. As a leader, we have to challenge ourselves. Yeah, we have to move up. And would you agree with me that in order for us to progress, we have to break this emotional ceiling and move up higher and higher? So here we want to raise the ceiling, push the ceiling up, and learn. Go back to school and learn if you have to, or take the initiative and proactive to go and learn whatever you do not know. Learn some new skills if you have to, yeah, or even handle your EQ, emotional intelligence or emotional quotient you have to do. So you break the ceiling and move up, and then you handle problem level number 6, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, yeah. And this is how it goes, yes. And how do you actually grow? And this is how you actually grow by the size of you. Yes. So for example, this is the size of you. For example, when you are at level problem number 1, if you manage to solve problem level number 1, what size are you then? What level are you now? You are level number 1. Yes. You solve problem level 1. You are level 1. Now you are a level 1 person. Yes. Are you a level 2 yet? No, because you have not. And when you reach problem number 2 and you solve problem number 2, you are level number 2 person. Now you have up, you have raised. As you go along, level number 3, and then you can move up, and then level number 5, you break the ceilings and you can come moving up to level number 8, and so forth. Yes, and finally you reach level number 10. So let me ask you right now, yeah, when you are level number 5, just say when you are at level number 5, and then looking down at level number 1 problems, is it a problem for you? Is it a big problem or small problem for you? What do you think? Small problem, right? It's not really a big problem because you know how to handle. You are now level 5. Yes? Yeah? Have you ever have maybe a junior or someone younger than you and come up to you and say, hey, for example, hey, I don't know how to do level problem number 1. It's so tough for me. I don't even know what to do. And here you are at level 5 and saying that, no, it's so easy. Level 1 only. Come on, don't worry. It's so easy. Just do this. Then blah, 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 and just teach them how to do. Yes? But to that person, it's like, how do you do that? I don't understand. Yes? How many of you have taught kids before? 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, it's so easy. How come you do not know? So easy. But to them, at that level, 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, how do you calculate 2? Yes, for a 2-year-old kid, for example. Then you teach them 1 bun + 1 bun = 2. And you show them, right? And that's how you learn. You have forgotten that long time ago, when you're level number 1, you're also learning. But now you're level 5. So to you, level 1 is easy. Yes. So let's assume right now you move up to level 10. At level number 10, Looking down at level number 5, problems. Is it a problem? Not really, right? It's like, it's a small problem. It's no longer as big. Yeah. But if level 10, looking down at level number 1, is it a problem at all? No problem at all. What problem? Level 1, come on, don't even bother me about it. Yes. Yeah. So what I'm trying to share with you is this. If you're going to build on our leadership skills, we have to work on this. We have to actually learn how to overcome every problems in life, at work, and everything. So that the more we are able to solve, the more we're able to handle the issues, the more we're able to have the experience of solving the issues or overcoming certain challenges. That's how we grow. That's the best way, the only way to grow. We can only grow by just learning, but experience matters. Experience are the one that actually gives us that power to know that we know how to do it. Yeah. So we need to grow. So that's the only way to go. Yeah. Solve. The idea here is this: as a leader, you want to learn how to solve more and bigger problems, handle more difficult challenges so that you can handle that. If you as a leader can handle more clients, more customers, yeah, or you can handle a bigger team, this is where you have grown yourself to be bigger size. Make sense? Yeah. So the bigger the problem you're able to solve, the more valuable you are. If you're at work, this is where you command a higher salary, the more money you will make into the business owner as well. Make sense? So, critical skill number 1. Okay, as a leader, don't run away from problem, but learn to tackle them. Learn to pick it up. Handle this. Let me share one little quick story with you on these things. I think I would like to stress a bit more on this. When I first started off as an engineer, my first year, I started after I graduated, and I came out. I was 23 years old. I feel so young at 23, and I got a job, in a manufacturing company. What I do there is we are manufacturing safety box. Okay, all the safety filing, fire resistant filing cabinets, strong doors, wood doors for the banks, and all the security doors, and even security the safe as well. So that's what I do. So I remember a time very, very clearly. In fact, I think only in I haven't reached second year, but with 1 year plus 1.5 years to 2, and I got so frustrated. I was frustrated about the challenges at work, so many problems every day, and I was like, why is it always constantly having problems? So I went up there and I was complaining to the boss. Yeah, I say, boss, why is all these things happening and things like that, blah blah blah. And one particular day, I was there complaining about an issue because one of the equipment in the factory spoiled. It was down. And it was spoiled for quite some time, about I think almost 2 months, and we don't have the equipment to run, and as a result, we are causing a lot of slow bottleneck in production. So our products are not able to come out fast enough. We are doing it manually. We are all waiting, and we are waiting for the equipment to be repaired or we buy a new one. Yeah, it costs some money. I think it costs about 6,000 to 7,000 ringgit Malaysia. It's quite a big sum. Yeah. And the company, because of the finance, are not budgeted, blah, 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 and we're not able to buy it straight away. But it takes up almost 2 months. So I remember I was complaining to my boss and saying, hey, why is it taking so long? You're chasing me every day for that thing. I was a production engineer then, in charge of the production output. So my boss chasing me every day, every week. And every week I'd say the same thing. I don't have this equipment, that's why we are slow. What can we do? Repair it faster. Yeah. And one day as I was complaining to my boss, it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. So it's really past working time, but we are working overtime. And I was talking to my boss, sharing with him what's happening in the day. And then my GM comes in. He comes in and says, hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And talking to my boss, hey, it's really 6 o'clock. It's time to go back. I say, okay, but we have some issue, things like that to talk about, discussing about this. So because of the GM is here, so I thought that, okay, maybe I'll ask the GM straight away. So I asked, hey, GM, Mr. Ho, about the equipment we've been trying to chase for the last almost 2 months now. Can we do something about this? Can you buy it so that we can run the production faster and start to chase up with the orders in hand? And I was telling it to him, and then he was saying that, because we are staffed, because of finance, we have not budgeted. Now we're getting approval from the directors of companies. They are taking very slow, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, even the GMs give me this type of excuses. Oh my goodness, I was like, how can it be? And then me and my big mouth, I start to ask, hey, boss, you are the GM, right? Okay, if you're a GM also cannot even solve this problem for me, for the production, then how do you expect me to solve the problem for the company? Okay, I was crazy, right, to say this, but I was very fortunate to have very good bosses. The GM was very good boss, and one of my idols myself, one of my role model. So he told me that, okay, okay, I hear what you mean, right? So I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Okay, is it okay? Tomorrow I give a call to the director and I chase them. I'll see what I'll try to get this done for you. Yeah, and then he asked me back this question. He said, so do you think in production, okay, will there ever be no problems at all? I was thinking, of course, in production, every day got so much problem. How is it possible to have no problem at all? Yeah. So I say, no, it's always going to be a problem. How I wish, but it's not going to happen. I say, hey, that's good. I think so too. Yeah. Then say, do you think in business, okay, in business will always be smooth flowing and there's no problem at all? I say, no, I guess it's going to have problem. Yeah, good, great. I thought so too. Yeah. So just imagine this. Okay, if you are in my place, you are the GM. Yeah. If there is no problem at all, do you think I will need the factory manager pointing at my boss? He's pointing at my boss, huh? And I will need you as well. And he's patting on my back. Okay, do you think I will need you and your boss if there's no problem in production at all? Well, that was a big realization for me. To me, it was like the GM, my general manager, just given me a big tight slap, pow, a virtual slap. I can actually feel it in my face. It's like, oh my goodness. But I was like, but it was a big aha moment for me, a big realization, because I realized for the first time at the age of 25 years old, yeah, when I was just starting off my career, that I am, as an engineer, I am hired for a reason. Okay, whether you're an engineer, you're an architect, you're whatever, no, whatever profession you are, we are all hired for a reason. The company pays us for a reason. Yes, the company hire you for a reason. Why? To do what? To solve problems, right? Yeah. If we are not solving problems and we are not responsible for solving the problems, and we are always complaining in denial, saying why the boss never give me this, never buy me this equipment, never do this, never do it. As a result, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. It's all justification. It's all blaming. Yes. Sometimes I don't care. I don't care. You're totally in denial. Or I say I totally give up. It's not my fault. I quit the company because nobody can solve the problem for me. Yeah. So no, I realized that it's my job as an engineer to solve the problem. If nobody is solving it, why not me? If I can solve this problem, this is where I become more valuable, right? The bigger the problem I can solve, the more valuable I am. Does it make sense? So that was one of the biggest learning ever at the age of 25. And from there onwards, what I do, I took up responsibility. I go down to the factory. I go down to all my supervisors and the factory workers, things like that. I ask them, how can I solve what problems do you have? How can I solve for you? What do you want me to do for you? How can I handle this for you? Take the responsibility and become the leader for them and get things done. Make sense? Yeah. That's number one. So leadership is about responsibility, friends. If you're not willing to be responsible, it's going to be a big challenge. Yeah. So take up. Yeah. Learn to grow yourself. Remember this quote: grow yourself. Learn to handle. Because once you can handle problem number 4, problem 1 and 2 is no longer a big deal. Yeah. Once you can handle problem number 8, problem 4, 5, 3, and 4 is no longer a big deal for you because you know. Isn't that true? Think back. Yeah. Isn't that true? Where you are today is the result of how you have gone through. Yeah. Yeah. So now, becoming responsible is one thing, but it's so important. A lot of people, they're not become responsible because why? Becoming responsible means a lot more in your shoulder, right? But that requires skill number 2, very important. It's about problem solving. Your ability as a leader, as a person, to know how to solve problems will define who you are. Will actually make who you are. Make sense? Yeah. So let me give you a little simple quiz. Yeah, I want you to take a look. Yeah, take a look at this problem. Okay, I give you 1 minute. Read this thing out and tell me how would you want to solve this issue. Yeah, take 1 minute. Okay. All right? Are you able to solve this? What is 17 divided by 2? Yeah. So what's 17 divided by 2? You cannot divide, right? 17 cannot divide by 2. 17 cannot divide by 9. Cannot divide by 3. Yes? So what do? Yeah. So this is a little bit of mathematics and becoming logical and critical in thinking. Yeah. But as you know, trying to solve problems like this, may not be so simple after all, because mathematically it's very easy. So 17 divided by 2 is about what? 8 point something. Yeah, 8 point something. 17 divided by 3 is what? 3 is 5 point something, right? And 17 divided by 9 is how many? 1 point something. 8. Correct? So how do you do this? Okay, I'll give you some time. Calculate and see. Can't think. Okay, while I make some calculation here too, yeah? Okay, got it? Okay, now let's discuss this. So 17 divided by 2 is how many? It's about 8.5, yes? 17 divided by 2 is about 8.5. How do you divide the camel into 8.5? You cannot. You can't do this. So you're not allowed to kill the animal. Okay, you're not allowed to sell as well. Let's assume that we can't sell. We're supposed to divide it equally, as fair as possible. Yeah. So and 17 divided by 3, what do you get? 5.6. Yes. 17 divided by 9, what do you get? 1.9. You can't. So technically speaking, how do you divide 17? You cannot. Yeah. So of course here they're saying that okay, they are arguing over these things because that it's not fair. How can I kill this? How can it's not fair? How can you get more? I should get more, things like that. The younger one will say, only 1 out of 9. I only get less than one only. Cannot get? I should be getting 2 or at least more than 3. And this is where the complications start to come up. Yeah. So in order to solve this issue, of course, to cut it short is that they actually found someone, a wise old man, and he come down and help him and say, please help us how to distribute these things, because you can help us, and then our 3 brothers will never fight with each other. We will not kill each other. We must find some ways, otherwise we'll start to kill each other. So the wise man say, okay, give me a day, I'll come back tomorrow. So after a day, then he saw that the wise old man brought another camel together. And together with his camel, he add on to the 17, becomes 18. Yes, 18 camels. 18 divided by 2, what do you get? 9. And 18 divided by 3, what do you get? You get 6. 18 divided by 2, what do you get? 18 divided by 9, what do you get? You get 2. And total up, when the eldest get 9, the second one gets 6 camels, and the last one, the youngest get 2. You say, okay, good. Everybody got their fair equal share of camels, and the wise old man take back his own camel away. Yeah. Do a little maths by yourself. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that in a lot of problems that we face, okay, if we are logical enough, we have critical thinking, we know how to solve problems, there's always a way to solve problems. Yeah, it may not be the best way, but there's always the best way to solve problems. Yeah, in this case, find the 18 camel, we can divide it equally. Everybody seems to be looking fair. In case they do not know how to calculate, this is fair and the other. Yeah. So this is just a little exercise, okay? But the thing is this, I want to share with you, there are 2 types of problems that you want to think of. Yeah. There are complicated problems and there are complex problems. What are the difference? Yeah, this is a little bit of wording, yeah. Okay. What is complicated? What is complex? So if you look at the camel early on, yeah, is it a complicated issue? Technically speaking, if you use mathematics, you math, 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. 17 divided by 3 is 5.62. 17 divided by 9 is 1.89. If you round up to the highest number, you get 9, 6, and 2, and it's problem solved. But in the real world, sometimes it's not as simple as that because there's people involved, people emotion, their calculation, they say it's not fair, and they will challenge everything, and that becomes very complex. Yeah. So in other words, I can put it well and give you another example of this. Yeah. Which one is complex? Which one is complicated? It's Rubik cubes. How many of you know how to solve a Rubik cubes? No? Do you know? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Let me share with you. Is Rubik cubes complicated or complex? Is it very complicated? Yeah, it's complicated. Complicated means it's hard to do if you do not know. But once you know the steps, you know the techniques, you know the calculation, you know the formula, for example, in this case, if I can share with you the formula of how to turn, and when you step by step, you just turn accordingly, and you can solve the problem. If I can share with you this formula, yeah, you're done. Everybody knows. Just like how I did this. When I learned this time back in school, I learned it from my second sister, and I find that she's so good at it. And when she demonstrated to me and saying that, no, you move, if you want to move here to here, you do this, you do that, I was like, I do not know how. I say, I don't understand. I say, sister, can you show me an easy way? Just teach me step by step. And I just memorize it. And that's what I do. When you reach certain stage, there's many, many levels. You reach first level, do this first. Level 2, do this. Once you solve level 2, do level 3. Remember the code, very similar. So, and I learned that first thing, finish one level, then second level, and I moved that. Altogether, it's about, assuming this is 10 steps. And I learned the 10 steps by heart, and I just do that. And today, I can solve this problem closing my eyes because I learned it by heart. If you ask me whether I know how it actually works, I think I kind of know, but I don't even know how I actually move it, but I just know the steps. I just learn how to move it. Make sense? Yeah. So, but complex is when things are very complex, like involve so many things. There's a lot of things involved, a lot of people involved, people's feelings involved, and this is where it becomes very, very like too many things involved. How many did you find that sometimes a very simple things that you can easily solve it actually, but because it involves too many people, yeah, involve too many guidelines and processes and policies that we have to go through because we must go through because it's the standard operating procedure, the SOP, or this is the rules that to follow. You must go to this person first, otherwise you cannot do it by yourself, and that becomes very complex. Yeah. Either way, there's two types of problems. I would just want to share with you. Yeah, complicated problems and complex problems. How do you handle this? Yeah, just like the camel. Yeah. So I give you a little simple example as well. Yeah. Back in the time when I was working with Ericsson before. Ericsson phone, you may know, old phone. Today, the younger ones, you know that it's Samsung, iPhone. Yeah. These are all the or even Honor, the brand Honor or Huawei formerly, it becomes very powerful. But in the past, there's this thing called Nokia. You know this? Before Nokia, there was Ericsson. Before Ericsson, it was Motorola, right? So I was in that generation. So during the time with Ericsson phone, I have a chance to work with Ericsson company, and we were producing the T28 phone. Very, very nice looking. Best, that was the phone then. And today we're talking about Samsung Flip, right? Or the iPhone 14 or 15. Okay, so these are all the how many 200 megapixel kind of things. But in that time, the T28 phone was a small phone with a flip and things like that. It was so nice looking. Yeah. So I was there as an engineer. Yeah. And my job is to actually work on this product design, verifying the product design before it goes into the production. So when I joined, very quickly I realized that as much as I admire the phone and Ericsson, the company, right, I realized that phone has a lot of problems to actually manufacture, and there's so much failure in terms of the production of the phone. And there's so many things in terms of the design, from the parts to everything. There's so many problems. I was like, oh my goodness, how can this be? And the more I know about the phone, the more I was like, I don't want this phone anymore. So I was an engineer then. So within the first 2-3 months, I realized that, this is bad. And I realized that a lot of my other senior colleagues and engineers, they are like shunning away. They don't want to handle this T28 phone. I don't want to do with this phone. Yeah. But to me, I find that, from an engineering perspective, design perspective, it shouldn't be very difficult. If I learn about the phone and things like this, the complicated issues, if I learn how to do it, I understand the phone, I should be able to solve it. Mechanically, as a mechanical engineer, I know I can solve this. Sure can. Yeah. It's just about how complicated, what kind of knowledge I need. But even though I know how to solve the phone after I learned it, I find it's not so easy to actually solve the phones just like that. Even though I know what to do, but I can never execute it on my command because I'm not the manager, I'm not the electrical engineer, I'm not the other process engineer or whatever people are doing that. I need to get through to them, get them to do it. And because they have to do it first, and they have to do it or not, then it becomes very complex because I have to rely on them. They may not want to do it right now because they're busy. I talk to the boss there and say, no, not this time, wait for me. And then in order to run the production, no, you have to wait for the next batch. Oh, no, we cannot simply do this way. Wait for the planner. You have to wait this or the system, blah, blah, blah. There's so many things that make it so complex. Whereas if I am totally in control of the whole factory, I can just get it done within just 2 days or 1 day. Yeah, but I cannot do it because there's so many things involved. And this is what I mean by complex. Yeah, do you get me? Do you understand me? Yeah. But the thing is, as a leader, as an employee, as a business owner, okay, we will face with these two issues, complicated issues and complex issues. The key is we have to learn how to deal with this. How do you deal with this? Can we know everything? Impossible. But we want to be resourceful. Make sense? We want to be resourceful. We want to know how to get things done. We want to know how to connect with the right people who has the expertise to get things done. If we are resourceful enough, okay, let me ask you this question. If you are resourceful enough, would you be able to solve things? Would you be able to get things done? Would you be able to find a solution for this? Sure, right? Yeah. So the key here is this: as a leader, we want to be able to solve problems, becoming resourceful, becoming knowledgeable, number one, but also at the same time resourceful, because we can never know everything, but be able to find the right people to get things done. And this is the key. Okay? So another thing I want to share with you is this: every problem is an opportunity. Would you agree? Every problem lies an opportunity to do what? To make it better, to improve yourself. Remember the quote? Every problem is an opportunity for you to improve on it. Every time you solve a problem, you suddenly know that, I now know how to solve. It's no longer difficult for me. Yeah. Until you know how to solve a problem, it's still a challenge. But once you find the solution, it's like, I know how to do it. And now you are a different type of person. You're a different level. Yes. But the thing is this: how many of you realize this and say, okay, if that's the case, do you welcome them and say, come, bring me problem, give it to me. Do you do that? Yeah, for most people I know, they're running away from problems. Look at problems and I don't want to do it, I don't care. And as a result, they did not take responsibility. They don't want to take it because they do not know how to solve problems. But what if you know how to solve problems? What if you know how to, you have the resources, you have the resources and you have the skills to do this? Isn't it an opportunity for you? And that's what happens to me in the Ericsson phone. I saw that as an opportunity. When all my seniors are running away, I say, I will do this. If I can do this when everybody are afraid of this, then where am I? I'm going to be powerful, right? People will know my capabilities. People will come to me. And through this, that's what I do. In the short 4 to 6 months, I was able to solve a lot of big problems that for the last 1.5 years, they're not able to solve. Yeah. Because why? I see that problem as an opportunity for me to grow my leadership skills. Make sense? Yeah. Right? So it's just like looking at the glass, whether it's half empty or half full. Yeah. How do you see this? Yeah. People say, it's half empty, it's half full. What does it actually mean? Yeah. And without going too deep into this and debate about this, basically, I'm talking about, are you a pessimistic person or optimistic person? Make sense? Are you a pessimistic person or optimistic person? Yeah. If you are, the question I ask you, okay, if you're going to solve a problem, okay, if you are a pessimistic kind of person, would you solve a problem? Would you be able to solve any problem? No, right? You know that, right? But if you are optimistic enough, if you are an optimistic person and you know you're being optimistic, then you know there's a chance. There's a high chance you can actually find it. Because why? If you're optimistic, you're resourceful. You will find a way. If you're pessimistic, you're always in the denial mode, blaming, justification mode, which you are not going to be responsible anyway. Yes. So that's why there's a problem solver, whether we know it or not. First thing, our mindset is that I want to be optimistic. I have to be optimistic. Yeah. I'll find a way. Yeah. Yeah. So for example, if you are pessimistic, you look at the problems as trouble. If you look at If you are optimistic, you look at the problem as an opportunity. Yes. If you look at it as a trouble, what happens that you look at it as a risky things that's very risky, and because of that, your emotions, you are very fearful about it. You are very fearful. You dare not do it. But if you look at the problem as opportunity, what do? You see rewards, potential rewards, and you'll be excited about it. Yeah, and that's what you want to do. So which one you want to see? You want to be optimistic, or do you want to be pessimistic? You decide. If you want to be the leader, you have to make this decision. Yeah, correct? So the key is that to be resourceful, yeah? So that you have all the skills in hand to get things done. You have all the people that you know, the connection that you know, to actually look for help and support. Yeah, you want to be this Swiss knife, yeah, multi-purpose Swiss knife. Make sense? Great. So number 3 is execution. Now you want to be a responsible leader. Then you want to be a good problem solver. You're able to come up with solution. All these are very nice unless you're able to execute it and get results. True or not? Until you can actually get results, becoming a good leader or not, and how good you're able to solve is just talk. Yeah, execution is where the real action comes in. The real action, actually going to get things done, really going to get the results. And this is where strategies, being able to strategize, being able to plan, okay, strategically, and being able to execute things in a very strategic manner. That makes the difference between you, whether are you a person, a leader can actually create results, or a leader or the person who just talks about things. Yeah, you think you want to talk about it or you want to create results? Of course, I would say create results. Yeah, so it's all about results. Okay, I have a very fantastic food quote that I love very much. How many of you like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Who here look at Arnold as your idol? I am. Look at it. For me, first thing is the muscles that they have. But I think second thing is that if you study his life, how he has actually progressed in his successes as a bodybuilder and then the movie stars and becoming governor of California, it's a very, very empowering kind of stories. Yeah, and he has this very famous quote which I like a lot. Yeah, you can either have results or excuses, or not and either results or excuses. You cannot have both. So in other words, if you have results, do you need to give excuses? Do you ever need to give excuses if you have results? No, right? There's only 2. I got the results. No excuses needed. But if you find yourself giving a lot of excuses, justification or blaming or whatever is all excuses to me. Yeah, that means you haven't got the results. Yeah. So what I normally do is if I catch myself giving a lot of excuses, I would tell myself, zip my mouth, just shut up. Think of a solution. Step up. Be responsible. Get things done. Because unless I'm responsible, I will never get the results. Okay? So execution is about what? So how do you want to execute? Right, some simple terms I want to share with you, which I want you to go on and learn more. Yeah. To get things done, to solve an issue, first thing you want to apply this thing called KISS principle. Keep things simple and straightforward. Yeah. Don't make things very difficult to get things done. Sometimes when it's becoming too difficult, too much things involved, become too complex, moving around just to get things done, from maybe 3 steps, you can take 12 steps to get things done. Even you yourself will be defeated, and you yourself find yourself giving a lot of excuses and justification because it's so hard. So the key is that how can we always keep it as simple as possible? If it only takes 3 steps to get it done, use 3 steps enough. Don't make it fun and more just to make it fun, make it 5 steps. Just because you like 5 steps doesn't make sense. Yeah, make it simple. Because as a leader, you want to be able to come up with simple plan, straightforward, that is definitely works, so that your team can also do it as well. It's not just only about you. Maybe you can just do it in 12 steps. To you, it's easy. But to other people, 12 steps is like, oh my goodness, it's mind-boggling. So how can you keep it simple as possible? How can you execute it? How can you chop it down to smaller plans so that people can see results faster? Yeah, that's number 1. Keep it simple. Yeah, don't make it complicated. Number 2, as you are keeping it simple, you want to make sure that your approach, your strategy is practical. Yeah, it's practical. That is actually doable. When I first saw this picture, for example, a turtle climbing on top of the log, I was like, what? How is it possible? How can a turtle climb on top? Do you think it's possible that a turtle climb on top of this log and the rest there? For longest time, I thought, no, it's impossible. How can it be possible? How did he actually really climb on top, right? For me, I was really, really puzzled. Until recently, I was back at my hometown in Taipei, in Malaysia, back in hometown. I was taking my son out for a walk in the Lake Gardens. There's a big, very nice Lake Garden in my hometown. And I was looking around, and then from far, I saw the thing looks like a turtle. But it was right on top of something. I was like, hey, does it look like a turtle? So I was talking to my son. I was like, hey, Shin, see. Come on, let's take a look. I'm very curious. Is there a turtle? I say, what, where? Look, is there a turtle? Yeah, it's a turtle. I say, what? The turtle is actually on top of the log like this. It was actually sitting right on top on a very small log. It's much smaller than this. It was resting there. I was like, oh my goodness. I just cannot believe my eyes. I was like, it's actually possible. It's real. This picture that I saw is real. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to take a picture, but by the time I took a picture, I think the turtle saw me because I was going very close up to him, and he jumped into the water. So I don't have the proof, but I have seen it in my own eyes that this is actually possible. So whenever you're trying to come up with solutions or a game plan, make sure it's a practical approach. Don't just pick from the sky, think that it should be. You have seen it, you have done it before, you know that it's practical. Because if it's not practical, then you may be doing things that's not even possible. Yes. So make it practical, yeah, guys. Yeah. Number 3, very important when you're planning and doing execution. You also want to learn how to anticipate problems. Yeah. Anticipate what potentially can happen if you're going to take these steps. Anticipate and think ahead. Visualize ahead. Okay. And how do you want to what can potentially happen. So you can stop it and you can expect it to happen. Okay, so that when it happens, it's not a shock to you. You know that, yeah, it's possible to happen. So you put in an action plan or whatever solutions to overcome it when it happens. Or maybe even solve it then so that it doesn't really happen. You anticipate. And this is a very important step because if you do not anticipate the problem, and when it happens, and things doesn't go well and it fails miserably, for example, what's going to happen to you? You're going to go into this denial state, blaming, justification, and quitting all these things again. Yeah, sometimes you want to be responsible, so it's not so easy because things has already happened. Yeah, so we want to be able to anticipate this. Then the responsible things to do is that anticipate the problem so that you know, and when it happens, it's minimized or it will not happen because you already put in action plan or solution in place. Make sense? Very important if you want to execute and get results. Because in the world, whatever can happen will happen. You know Murphy's Law? Whatever that can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, and sometimes you will just go wrong at all at once. Yeah, in one of the training recently, I was teaching execution skills. One of the participants was telling me, "Say, sometimes you must also think of this. Whatever that you think will not go wrong will also go wrong." Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, sometimes it is things we never expect will go wrong, will still go wrong, and this is what the world is. It's very unpredictable sometimes. Yes, but we want to be able to predict it as best as possible, anticipate this problem. Yeah. And finally, okay, to do this, you want to be able to strategize and execute by doing test and measure, or say experiment. Everything that you do, make sure you test it, measure it, and verify it. That your solutions, your steps, your action plan actually works. How do you know? You actually test it, you measure it, you verify it. Yeah, and you may even need to follow through over a period of time so that you know for sure this sure works. Does it make sense? Yeah, it's very important because sometimes I've seen so many times in my experience, people just do it and then they just expect this to happen, and when it doesn't happen, they just don't know what to do. They just never prepare for it. Yeah, so you have to prepare it. Yeah, whatever happens right now, it looks okay, but it may not guarantee next month or 6 months down the road or a year later things will change or not. Yeah, so you have to test it so they become dummy proof. You know for sure whoever does it, whoever is handling it, whatever time, winter or summer or hot or cold, rain or shine, you know it sure work. Because why? You have tested it, you actually measure it, you verify that it works. This is the key. Yeah, follow and follow through. Okay, got it. So you learn about leadership, being responsible, knowing how to solve problems, knowing what is complex, what is complicated, and having the resourcefulness to get things done. Okay, this is a very big area. You have to keep learning on that. How to execute. Okay, understanding how to anticipate problems, how to test and measure it is the key here. Okay, make sure it's always practical. When you test and measure them, you make sure that it's practical. Okay, yeah. So now the last two is this: communication and collaboration. So talk about communication. So you've got to be a leader who are responsible, able to solve problems. When you are solving a problem, do you need to communicate with your fellow teammates or the people who are part of it? You have to, right? If you try to execute and get results, and do you think you need to communicate with people as well? You have to. If you want to lead a team as a leader, you need to communicate. Yeah, communication matters. One of the biggest bridge to getting things done. Yeah. So with this, I want to share with you two very, very important principles. Yeah, that I follow. There's many principles, but these two, which I learned from a long time ago, and I find that 10, 12 years ago I learned this. No, I think more than that. I think 15, 16 years ago when I first learned about this, I was like, wow, mind-boggling. Okay, and this is what Tony Robbins said. Okay, do you know who Tony Robbins is? Yeah, one of the world famous coach, right? He said this: the quality of your life is the quality of your communication. Would you agree? If you're happy with your life right now, chances are your communications are very good. If you are not so happy with your life right now, or your work and your career, chances are your communications are not so good. Make sense? That's what it means. Yeah. So for me, that if I'm not happy where am I right now, I have to change or improve on my communication skills, because our life are usually dealing with people. There's always people involved. Yeah. If there's no people involved, then you don't need to communicate anymore. But you still need to communicate with yourself, right? In your head. Yeah. What you're thinking inside there, you're having this little thoughts, and you're challenging, you're discussing inside your own head. They are your internal dialogue, your internal team. You have so many little voices inside there. Yeah. There's also a communication. Yeah. Internal, external. So the quality of your life is the quality of your communication. Number one. Number two, which is also even more also powerful. Yeah. Is this the meaning of your communication is the response you get. Oh, what does it mean? Now, when I learned this the last time, many years ago, I was like, what does it mean? See, so it means this: whatever response that you get when you're communicating with someone else. Okay, if I say apple and that person gets it as apple, good. That's exactly what I want the response to get. Yeah. But if I say apple, okay, green apple, and that person comes back with an orange, that's totally out. Yeah, this is a fruit, but it's totally out. That means the response that I'm getting is like, hey, why did I say green apple and he gives me an orange? Something is wrong in my communication. Does it make sense? And how do I know it's wrong? It's by looking at the response that you get. The feedback that people get. So whenever you're trying to say, people say, please pass this book to Andy, for example. Yeah. And the book never reached Andy. So when I check back with say Jenny, can you please pass this book to Andy? Okay. And then came back, I said, Andy, did you receive the book? No. Did you see Jenny? No. Something gone wrong. I checked with Jenny. Jenny, what happened? I asked you to pass the book. No, I passed to someone else, or I leave it someone else, do something else with it. That means that my communication did not land on Jenny. Does it make sense? Jenny did not understand it. Even though I said it very simple, just Jenny, please pass this book to Andy. But to Jenny, it did not receive it. And the response is what her response to me will tell me whether my communication with her is done correctly. It could be her never listened correctly, or I never say correctly. It doesn't matter, but it has not translate correctly or never transfer correctly. Make sense? So how do you know whether your communication is done correctly? It's by the response that you receive. If you're getting the right response, that's what you intended to be or what you expected to be, fantastic. But if it's not, so that is the meaning of the communication. Does that make sense? And that will actually equate to the quality of life. If whatever you say every time there's always a miscommunication, something is wrong with your communication and you have to improve. Make sense? Yeah. This is that. Okay. So with that, I just want to share a little bit about communication. There's verbal and non-verbal communication. So there's verbal, vocal, and visual. Okay, verbal are the words that we use. Vocal are how you say the words, the tonality, how you say it, the pitch and everything, the way you express it in terms of the vocal tone. Visual is your body language, how you actually demonstrate when you say it. Yeah, when you say, for example, I say I love you versus I love you versus I love you, it means differently, right? Even though the word is just say I love you. Okay, make sense? Yeah. And when you're joking, you can say in joking manner, I love you. Or you can say in speed that I love you. No, it means different thing. No, so the body language can also mean everything. Yeah. So in the study of communication, okay, how many percent do you think verbal takes up? How many percent are vocal? How many percent are visual? That means how many percent are the words? How many percent are the way you say it in terms of tonality, your tone of voice? And how many percent are the body language? If you take up 100%, yeah, make a guess. Make a guess. I don't expect you to know, but you can make a guess, okay? So let me share with you, okay? Verbal is only 7%. Words are only 7%. 38% are tone, tonality, and your visual is only 55%. Okay, these are all done by the experts in communication, the scientists and everything. They actually measure everything, yes? So in other words, look at it, it's only 7% are words. So how you say the word is only 7%. Sorry, what word you use or the word that you use is only 7%. But how you say it accounts for 38% of it. It can mean so many different things depending on how you say it. Yeah. And how you actually present it when you're saying it, right? Your body language is 55%. So if I add up the vocal and the visual together, it's 93% are your non-verbal communication. That means how you say it and how you acted it is 93%. So in other words, even though sometimes without you saying it, your body language is communicating 93% of the time. Yeah. And that actually can send wrong message or wrong signals if you are not careful. Make sense? Yeah. So in other words, sometimes you say, I say exactly, but people may not understand correctly. So with that, we have to literally learn how to communicate as best as we can. There's so many things in my communication that you have to learn. There's a lot, and I cannot cover so many in just a few minutes here. Yeah, but I want you to understand this thing first. So important how you actually say it. Yeah. So 3 common communication trap that you have as a result of this. Yeah, is about this. Number 1, mind reading. Yeah. How many of you sometimes make a lot of assumption? Before people say certain things, I thought this is what he means. I thought that's what he means. I thought you understand, right? I thought a lot of things you think it should be this way. You think it should be that way. Before people say and finish everything, you really start to even compute or summarize what he's trying to say on your own thing. You're just mind reading someone without truly listening. Does it make sense? Yeah, that's why I said, I thought you know. I thought I understand. I thought a lot of assumption. In other words, a lot of assumption. How many of you here are guilty with that? No? Having a lot of assumption. Yeah. Number 2, hearing versus listening. What is the difference? Yes. Are you actually listening? Or in other words, you're only listening half-heartedly. Sometimes you're listening, okay, I'm listening, but you did not listen completely to truly understand what is the message is all about. So you just pick it up and then you start to have mind reading, and you whatever you're missing out, you start to assume and you make it into that, and you make a conclusion out of it. And because of this, do you think it's going to be exactly what the message is intended? Most likely there's going to be a mistake there, right? Yeah. And finally, one more, prejudging. Okay, very similar to mind reading, but it's more like I'm going to prejudge. Sometimes based on certain people's attitude and behavior, or the way they communicate, we sometimes say, he's always like that. He always seems to mean this way. Before we say certain things, then he goes again, then you don't even listen anymore. Someone is complaining, say customer is complaining, there you go, customer is shouting at me. Okay. This type of customer, always like that one. No, this type of customer, right, always seems to be things that they are right, and we start to prejudge without truly understanding why are they so angry about? What is the real challenges they're facing right now? Does it make sense? So we are always, how many of you fall into these 3 common communication traps? Yeah, I do. And as a result of this, understanding earlier, I mentioned about the verbal and non-verbal communication and the 2 principles, and knowing this, how can we make it better? Yeah. So in other words, do not mind read. Do not assume. Yeah. One of the biggest things I learned about problem solving and even in communication is that a lot of assumption. You make so many assumptions. It should be this way. It should be that way. I thought this. I thought that. Yeah. How come it's not done that way? It should be this way. The word "should" means, right, it's a lot of assumption really. You should be doing this, but people are not. Why when people say you should be doing certain things but you are not doing it, means what? There's some kind of mind reading, right? Yeah. So there's a problem. Yeah. And you want to prejudge. Makes sense? These are three main common miscommunication we should try to avoid as much as possible. Because the more, if you don't avoid it as much as possible, you're gonna fall into the trap more and more, and always the communication is never correct. Yeah. Okay, got it? Yeah. So the key here is this: I want you to communicate with confidence. No, sorry, let me rephrase. Not communicate with confidence. I want you to communicate confidence. It's different, no? Yes. Communicate with confidence and communicate confidence is different. Does it make sense? So in communication, as a leader, when you want to communicate, it's important, I believe it's important that we communicate confidence. That means people look at you when you're communicating, they feel confident that you know what you're doing. And hence you become a problem solver. They feel confident that you know what you're doing when you're executing certain things. They feel confident of your ability, not you communicating with confidence. It's different. So when you're communicating, okay, not just that you have to communicate with confidence, but you want to communicate confidence so that people can trust you. People will know that your capabilities, you're capable. Make sense? And when you are communicating in a very, very powerful manner, okay, and with clarity, without assumption, without prejudging, and truly listening and ask questions to clarify, for example, people can feel that confident and know that, okay, I can trust you. And because of this trust and because of the respect that we have, and this is when they will say, okay, I will listen to you, I will follow you, I'll be influenced by you. Does it make sense? Yeah. So how do you do this? Okay, I'm going to share with you one very important thing. Okay, hopefully this will be the aha moment for you as well. Yeah. How do you demonstrate this that you're confident? Yeah. I want to share with you this communication mindset. Yeah. Okay. You may have heard this before. I'm quite sure that you know this. Yeah. Maybe your grandmother or your mother have talked to you about this, or maybe your parents. Yeah. The things, this golden rule. Have you heard of this golden rule? Yeah. This is treat others the way what want to be treated. What's the missing words? Treat others the way want to be treated. What's the word? Okay. Treat others the way I want to be treated, right? So it's one of the golden rule. I think everybody practices. If I want to be treated nice, please treat other people nicely so that they will also treat me nicely. If I treat people badly, how can I expect people to treat me nicely? Yes. So it's very simple golden rule. Yeah. So if you want people to help me, then I help them first. If you want to make money, help other people to make money first. For example, okay, I help the customer to solve their problems, then you can make money, right? Treat others the way I want to be treated. Yeah. But however, this golden rule may not be powerful enough. It's powerful, but it may not be as powerful. I want to change this a little bit, yeah, by just changing this word "I," yeah, into this thing maybe called the platinum rule. What could change instead of "I"? Treat others the way. Yeah, what I want to be treated is my world, right? Yeah, but will other people care about what I want? Sometimes it's not important. What's important is that treat others the way they want to be treated. So, make sense? So if certain people like certain things, like the way you would be, it means if you're talking about communication, if people like us to give respect to them, for example, respect them in the way we communicate them, in the way that we respect them, they will feel nice to be treated and they will repay back. Yeah. So if certain people prefer a certain way of communication, yeah, and we talk to them, communicate with them the way they want to be, and they will reciprocate, they will repay us back accordingly. Make sense? Yeah, they will communicate it with us back accordingly. Instead of saying that this is the way I communicate, so you have to follow, why not we change? How do you want me to communicate with you? I will communicate to you accordingly. So in other words, that means you need to study human being right now, understanding how different people, different races, different culture, different nationality. Now that the world we have so many different nationalities. Like in this platform, there's so many people from different world. Yeah, we are all learning differently. The way we absorb information is different. The way we communicate definitely is different. Yeah, as simple as it sounds, it's not as simple. It's very complicated. It's not complicated. It's very complex in nature. Yeah. So because of that, understanding this, realizing this, we want to make the effort to actually treat people the way they want to be treated, communicate in the way they want to be treated, culturally, yeah, in terms of race, in terms of nationality and everything. Everybody has their preferred way. Yeah. If we can change a little bit and talk to them in the way they want to be, we demonstrate respect. As a result, then we can communicate better. Yeah. Sometimes not only that, sometimes it's more like how we all learn it in school, the way we communicate in our own country versus another country is totally different way. The words that we use are different from another country. Yeah, this word may mean differently. Yeah, how we say thank you may mean differently. Yeah, some words that we use in this country is a good word, but to another country is a bad word. Isn't it true? Yeah, so we have to understand and be mindful about that. Yeah, if you can be mindful about treating others the way you want to be treated, and we make this change accordingly, I think everything will be good. Yeah, one of my partner was telling me before. I said, when it comes to communication, he said that if we all practice the platinum rule, everything will be so much better. If you just practice the platinum rule, that means if you find it's not correct, learn about other people. How do we treat them better? How can we communicate with them better in the way they want to be? Okay, it's nice. Okay, make sense? Yeah. So that's on communication. Yeah. And finally, collaboration. Okay, I'm gonna take the last few minutes here talk about collaboration. Okay, is this: do you compete or you collaborate? Most of the time in a company, are we really collaborating or are we competing? Sometimes in the front, we seems to be talking about teamwork, collaboration. Everybody must work together. You should work together. But nobody wants to really work together. Why? Is it because internally we are actually competing? We are rivals? If I teach it to you, then you know better than me? I don't know. Or I'm competing with time. I have my own workload right now, and you want me to collaborate means I have to sacrifice my time for you. And but I cannot, because what's in it for me if I help you and you're not helping me back? There's a lot of things that are going on in people's head, because there's a lot of competition, or we are competing against time and resources and everything. Yeah. But the thing is this, yeah, if you want to really work on a big project, everybody must come together, either as a team, or we have to work with people so that we can collaborate and leverage on each other's strengths. Yeah. If I'm not good at calculation, I can find people who are very good at calculation and collaborate with them because he's better. But to the other person, your other partners or friends, they are not good at maybe designing, and you're good at designing. So I work on the design, you work on the calculation, and we can work it out together. So we'll collaborate on working on each other's strengths, each other's resources. Everybody have different resources. Everybody have different knowledge and skills. This is where collaboration comes in. Yeah, because we can never do everything on our own. In order to work on a bigger projects, bigger things that affects more people, we need to collaborate. So one principle I want to share with you is this. Yeah, the collaborative approach is this: you build relationship. Okay, otherwise you can expect resistance. Does it make sense? Yeah, if you want people to work together with you, build on the relationship. Because if you don't have the relationship, nobody will help you. In fact, you ask for help, they will not even want to help you because I don't even know who you are, or you're not that close. I have more priorities. But isn't it true? Just say if I and you, we have friends, we are good enough friends, or we are good colleagues, and we like each other, we actually enjoy each other's company, and we kind of trust each other. And because of that relationship, sometimes it's just a matter of me picking up the phone and just call you, hey Andy, or hey Jenny, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? And that's all it takes. Yeah, build a relationship. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, but if you don't have a relationship and you just expect that as a colleague, you should be helping me. By right, you should help me. We should have the teamwork. We just expect each other to help. And when you don't even have a relationship, do you think it's easy to just make a phone call and please help me? You know it's not going to happen, right? Yeah, ideally yes, but in the practical world, not. But what I know from experience is this: if I have the relationship, no matter how busy the other party, my friends is, right? Sometimes say, hey, Andy, need some help. Is it okay? No, just I need some help. Because he will help me for sure, knowing that in future next time when he needs help, I will also help him back. Because why? We are collaborating with each other. Yeah. Yeah. So with this, I will end with this. Yeah. So how do you do this? How do you make sure you have a win-win? In order to build this relationship, you have to have this win-win collaborative effort, a win-win relationship. That means we don't take each other for granted. We don't make use of each other, but we actually leveraging on each other. How we do this is this: the 4 types of exchange, which I want you to understand. Okay, number one. Okay, before that, let me share with you what is this thing called exchange first. Yeah, we are always in exchange with each other. Okay, that means in exchange in terms of like, if I do something for you, you will do something back for me. Yeah, if I in relationship in terms of couples, yeah, if I love you, then you will love me back. We actually exchange love. Nobody want to have one-sided relationship where I only love you, but you don't love me back. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, we always want to have this win-win, equal. We are loving each other. Yeah, so that we all support each other. We take care of each other. Yeah, and in this world, we are always in exchange. Everything we do is in exchange. We buy something, we are always in exchange. I pay $1 for $1 worth of goods. If I pay $10, I will want to get back $10 worth of goods. If I buy a thing that's worth 1,000, I will expect that product or the TV is worth $1,000. Does it make sense? Yeah. But what happens is that when you are out of exchange, for example, I pay 1,000 ringgit for the TV, but when I come back, it's not the model that I expect to be. In fact, it's just only worth 500 ringgit. Would you feel fair? Is it a fair exchange? It's not. You find that it's being cheated. Yes. Or when you try to buy something and you get more out of it, you feel happy. You see, I pay a 500 ringgit, I get 1,000 ringgit, $1,000 worth of a value of the TV. What is a big nice TV? I get it for half the price. But to the merchant or the seller, it's like, oh no, I sell it wrongly, and it feels so like stupid, or you make a mistake. Yeah. So we want to have these things called fair exchange. The problem is that in this world, people are always in exchange, but the exchange, is it always fair? Most of the time. Most of the time, people want to have more exchange, right? Get more out of it, and as a result, usually it's not a balanced exchange. And those who have lost or are on the losing end will always feel not so happy. Yeah. So when it comes to emotional exchange, emotion in terms of collaboration and teamwork and effort being put in as a teamwork, we need to have this exchange. Yeah. So let me share with you. Number one, what is hopeful exchange? Hopeful exchange is usually one way. That means one side is hoping for an exchange. That means I'm doing all these things for you with the hope that you see it and one day you repay me back. Yeah. Example with this at work, and you're my boss. I'm working very hard. I'm working overtime. I'm working late at night. I'm doing all these things, and I hope that you see that I'm putting up so much effort at night. And hopefully, that when the time comes at the end of the year, you give me a good assessment because I'm very hardworking. I hope that you see this with a hope, but I never really make sure that you know. I just hope that you, as my boss, sees this. This is called hopeful exchange. What if the boss never see me? What if you don't see it? At the end of the year, you didn't even consider this is hardworking. And then I'll be very dejected, right? Oh, how can you never see? I've been working so hard for the last 52 weeks and you don't even see it. So you have to make sure that, don't be hopeful. Make sure that both sides understand that the boss or the other party you are working for, they know what you're doing. Yeah. So what I did last time at work is that I always, every day, at the end of the day, I always talk to my boss at the end of the day to let him know what have I been doing for the day. If whatever challenges I have, I will discuss with him what can I do for tomorrow. So I always discuss on the challenges I have, what's the problems can I do, how can I improve tomorrow, how can I try different things, so that with the hope, my hope is that he understands. In fact, it's not hope. I want to make sure that he knows what I'm doing. Yeah, if I make a mistake, he will correct it for me, so that I know I can expect he can actually support me then. Yeah, so that next day I don't make a mistake. So don't be hopeful. Hopeful is one way. Yeah. Number two, a bit worse than that, delusional. Delusional means that it's very similar to hopeful, but right now you're doing something with the hope of getting rewarded or getting paid that you know it will never happen. Yeah, for example, again, using the same example, I'm working hard, I'm working overtime, I'm doing long hours, but my work is not up to par. Okay, you as my boss expect me to do this work and not even meeting the minimum expectation and doing all this extra overtime and everything with the hope that you will give me the bonus at the end of the year, give me the increment and reward me accordingly because of my hard work when I'm not even meeting the basic requirement of the work. Make sense? Yeah, this is delusional, right? Everybody knows that, hey, whatever you're doing, you will never get rewarded no matter how hard you work unless you actually meet the minimum requirement. That means you must be able to at least do my minimum task, get it done. Yeah? So it's delusional. Yeah. So expecting something that will not going to happen, that's delusional. So there's totally no exchange. Not say no exchange, it's impossible exchange. Make sense? Yeah. Number 3 is criminal exchange. Even worse. Criminal exchange means doing something with the hope to cheat somebody. Like for example, using the same example, I'm working overtime and things like that, but actually I'm not really working the overtime. I'm not doing the time. I just pretend to do the work. I just stay there, pretend to do the work, but I'm not doing it with the hope that my boss sees it. Oh yeah, he's doing so well. Okay, good. And then all the work that I do, I'm actually stealing from someone else, doing it, I'm cheating my way through, and I'm not actually creating real results, but I'm giving an illusion that I'm doing it, and my boss thinks that, yeah, I'm doing a good job. So at the end of the day, I get the increment, get the things done, everything, but actually I'm not really creating real work. And over time, after some time, people will find out that's criminal. That means you do it with the intention to cheat the company. Make sense? It's criminal. Yeah. So let me ask you, 1, 2, 3, is exchange. Is it a good exchange? If you're going to work on hopeful, delusional, and criminal time of exchange, will you get the kind of collaboration that you want? Over time, people will not trust you anymore, right? So the only way to get a win-win exchange, then the only way is definitely not 1, 2, and 3. Is this to have an honorable exchange. Honorable exchange means you make sure that whatever I'm giving to you, you get what you deserve, and then I hope to get back. I aim to get back the rewards I have. That means I work hard for it, and I want to get the increment. And at the end, the boss sees what I did, give me back the increment or the bonuses or the opportunity that I wanted to. Make sense? And both sides sees the value of each other. Both sides honor each other's contribution. Yeah. So if I do more, let's say if somebody do more for me, I will pay them accordingly, pay them fairly according to the worth. Yeah. Because when you do that, people will feel that, hey, you are being fair. You honor whatever it is, and I want to work with you more because I know you are fair, you treat me nice, and you are always very, very honorable kind. It means I know you will never cheat me, you will never lie to me, we all do it together because we are in partners. Make sense? Are you getting me? Yeah. So in order to create a win-win collaboration with each other, you as a leader always work on honorable exchange. With your team, make sure that you give them back accordingly. In fact, sometimes I say as a leader, if you don't mind giving a bit more, it's okay. Yeah, because when they succeed, you are going to be successful as well, your team. So you can give a bit more, but at the very least, make sure that it's fair. Yeah, make sure that whatever you have given people the task, pay them accordingly, compensate them accordingly. Yeah, whatever they have done for you extra, you think they should be given more, pay them back in many, many ways in terms of rewards or whatever. You can find in many ways by giving them extra time, giving them the buy them a meal, whatever things. There's many, many exchanges that you can do, but make it honorable. Make it honorable. Make sense? Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. The 5 critical skills leaders must have. Becoming responsible leader. Yeah. Do not go into denial, no blaming, no justification, no quitting, but be responsible and take charge. Solve problems. Be resourceful. Learn to be resourceful and learn how to solve problems as meaningful as it is. Okay, create value. Execute it. Actually go and get results. Actually can able deliver. If you can deliver results, this is what people are paying you for. Simple as that. Execution is where the key is. If you are the one that can actually take on the action and create the results that people want, people will pay you. Okay, and then in order to do all these three above, you need to have communication skills, good communication skills, learning to treat people the way to be treated so that you get the message across, and then learn how to create win-win collaboration all the time. Yeah. So question, if you have these 5 critical skills as a leader, if you have this, what kind of leader would you be? What kind of leader do you think you will be in the eyes of other people? Will it be powerful? I think it is. I think it will. Yeah. Other things are also important, but these are the 5 critical skills. If you can work on these 5 consistently and over time and develop yourself to be good at these 5 areas, you will see your life transform. That's, I would say, a promise to you. Yeah. Okay, with that, that's the end of the training. Yeah. So leadership is about influence. And thank you for your time. I hope that you've learned something today. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP Knowledge Seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, our first question is from Ray. In the face of complex ethical dilemmas, how can leaders hone their moral compass and ensure ethical decision making throughout the organization, while still fulfilling their responsibilities to shareholders, employees, and other stakeholders with partially conflicted interests.
One more one, yeah. Okay, this is actually a very, very good question. And today there's so many things that's going around. Sometimes I find that it's very, very unethical. Yeah. But legally may be correct, but ethically is questionable, and hence also lead to this thing called the moral issue. Is it correct? There's a lot of things that's happening, and there's a few things that I'm very concerned about. But I'm not going to discuss here. Yeah. But the thing is this: as a leader, I think it's important, right? We all know what's important. What's the right thing to do? Does it make sense? What's the right thing to do? Yeah. What's right and wrong is really depends on individuals' belief as well. Yeah. So for us to know, especially we're dealing with different from different cultural, you mentioned here about organization in terms of moral compass as well, right? So if you are dealing with different culture, different race, today we talk about so many racial issue. Sometimes it's even all funny things that sometimes between culture, religion, and race is a very sensitive issue, right? Political as well. Yeah. So I think it's important that we have to look at it as an overall. What do we want to achieve for the whole community in the world, as a person, as a people in the world? Yeah. What do we want to do? How do we want to have a peaceful society around the world where everybody can live harmoniously? Yeah. Do you want this? If you want, that's good. In the company, we're talking about the world. Let's go back to the company, right? In a company, there's different people, so many people from different background and culture and things like this. Do we want to have a safe environment for everybody to work in? So if you are in leadership position, I think it's important for us to start thinking, what's the right thing to do? Yeah. The right, not if the, I mean, right to do sometimes it could be against the rules and regulation and policies sometimes, but how can we make the change accordingly? Make sense? Because there's this thing called ethical and this thing called legally. Legally means according to the rules and policies of company or to the nation. Yeah, okay, we can do that. But sometimes it's not that correct, because rules and regulations and policies and laws are all made by humans, right? So sometimes it may not be the best. But I think the moral compass you mentioned here, the moral compass or being ethical, is back down on the heart and what you think is right. What's the right thing to do? Yeah, and this is the fight that we have to do as we all are moving into globalization. I mean, very global context. How can we do this better? Okay, I hope I understand this. I answered this question well. Yeah. What's next?
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Timothy. Good day, sir. What can we do as a leader to motivate our group or team?
What question is this? Can you repeat? What can we do as a leader to motivate our group and team? Is it okay? Great. What can we do? I think very important to motivate the team is about you as a person. How do you lead a team? Yeah, and by leading a team, I think the team must be able to be influenced by you. Correct. Yeah. So in that case, I would say that you need to develop yourself the influence skills. Yeah, the influencing skills. That means you need to be influential yourself. Yeah. If you're influential yourself, then you can motivate well. One good way to motivate is to become a role model. I believe becoming a role model that people who want to follow and inspired by it, and want to be like you because they see you as somebody that they really admire. Yeah. So be influential enough to be a role model. Then motivate them in many ways you can. But if you do not have these influence skills, then you are not a role model to them. It's difficult, in my experience, to motivate people. You can tell people what to do. There's like, yeah, I understand, but there's always a but. But if I look up to you or you look up to me, whatever I say sometimes you just follow because you just You're my role model. Does it make sense? Yeah. Be the role model. Be influential and be the role model. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Kathleen. What is the most essential skill for a leader?
Okay. Were you with me for the last 2 hours? If you want, these are 5 critical skills or 5 essential skills that you need to learn. Becoming a leader, responsibility first, and then on the other higher level I never touched on is becoming influential, which I just mentioned. So becoming a leader who are responsible and influential, learn to solve problems, be an execution, get results, be a good communicator, and be a good collaborator. Okay, that's the 5 essential skills that I recommend.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Nympha. What can you do to develop your leadership skills?
Okay, in the training early on, what can you do? For example, I mentioned about a cone early on. To develop the skills actually to go out and do it. Yeah, that means take on problems and try to learn how to solve it. Okay, always constantly learning and developing, continuously learning. That means read books, read good books. Okay, read books that actually can help you to expand your mind, expand your knowledge and skills, so that you know this. And then knowledge is one thing, but experience comes in. That's where your skill sets comes in. Yeah. So I want you to go as if you know the knowledge, you know how you want to do it and test it and verify whatever you know and practical application it actually merge together. So now, okay, whatever I know how to do it. Okay, make sense? Yeah. And this is what I do. So I want to always continuously go and learn and figure out how to do this. Okay, so go and learn. Always learn, practice, and test it out, and take on more roles and learn more experience. That's the best way to develop leadership skills. There's no other way. Because knowing is one thing, doing is another thing. You want to be able to know how to do it as well. Make sense? Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Ishaya. Sir Hatri, is organizational behavior recommended for leaders?
I would like to ask what does it mean by organizational behavior? What do you mean by that? Because I don't quite understand the meaning. What is organization behavior recommended for leaders? Okay, I would say, I'm just assuming, right? Okay, there's certain behavior that we need to portray when you're in an organization, when you're working especially. Yeah. So I think it's important to realize this one thing: when you're working as a professional, you need to act professionally. Yeah, you don't want to put in something that is not professional, and you say that, yeah, that's how it is right now. People can accept it. Different companies have different requirement, different ethics, different etiquettes they have to follow. There's certain things that there needs some common sense involved. That means you have to follow the system. Yeah. If, for example, I give you an example. If putting on wearing working attires is a culture in a company that you're working with. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, I think it's good. It's important to follow, right? Not just come in with a shorts and t-shirt because you say this is how I want it to be, and then you question why is it not allowed to be. No, we have to follow certain things. This is where the organization behavior comes in. There's certain sets of behavior that's acceptable and not acceptable. So how do you know? Talk to your HR managers in the company and find out what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. There's some companies who say that it's okay, wear casual is okay. There's some companies who say don't wear casual, for example. Yeah. As in terms of etiquette, in terms of the way we in the phone, how you communicate through phone, how do you communicate through the technology, for example, what kind of language you use, what language are not supposed to use. I think it's important to you need to discover with the organization you're with. Okay. Yeah. So be mindful and not just be mindful and follow, because that's how the culture is. Yeah. Any others?
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Agnes. For you, what value are important to be a leader to process?
Okay, values. There's many values. Um, there's few values I talk about in terms of personal values and also as a leader, how you want to portray yourself. There's many values. In fact, one of the values I talk about is uh, the 5 C's. Okay, 5 C's: becoming a champion leader. Number one, you need to have the clarity. Okay, clarity on what you need to be doing. Yeah, clarity on thoughts. Be very clear on what you really want. Number one. Uh, Second thing is that be able to communicate. Yeah, be able to communicate. Communication is another value. What else? Having the confidence. Okay, do you think this value of having confidence is important? I think that if you are totally confident, right, is there anything that you cannot do? Yeah, if you are totally confident, everything is possible, right? The problem is that not every time you're confident. So the third value here could be having the courage to take on, to step it up, despite of having fear, you still dare to go and do it. Yeah, these values. Yeah, and then what else? You want to be able to have a commitment to get things done. Commitment to be the values to commit to certain things and really get it done. And finally, the last one is to have what is it's a clarity. The last one is clarity. Yes, correct. Yeah, makes sense. So, what was it again? The last one is having control. Means having the control on the situation. So, clarity, confidence, courage, commitment, and control. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answers. Our next question is from what are the value that a leader should possess to be successful?
What are the values? Yeah, I think I just mentioned that earlier. Very similar. Similar. There's few others, but I think these are the one that you want to be successful. You want to have that first. Yeah, the first five. Same one. This was the same, very similar question to earlier on, right? What's next?
So there is no more questions from our participant. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with your topic. It will add
Right.
some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Honorable sir, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can.
All right. Thank you.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching complete part 1, click mark as complete. Move to the next, which is a learning test passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the course again. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, click mark as complete. Move to the next, which is a learning test passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to reject the course. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So, to join the quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com, and today our quiz code is 3085362. I repeat the code 3085362. After the short video, we will start our quiz session. With 23 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. Our first question is, what are 5 critical thinking skills? Option 1, analyze, communication, creativity, open-minded and problem solving. Option 2, communicating, close-minded, interaction, decision-making, observation. Option 1 is the right answer. 95% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Diana is holding the first position. Our second question is, what are the 5 critical thinking skills? Option 1, analyze, communication, creativity, open-minded and problem solving. Option 2, analyze, active listening, teamwork, synthesis and inclusivity. Option 1 is the right answer, and 87% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Miss Catherine is holding the first position. Our third question is, these 4 skills are critical for warrior leaders. Option 1, intuition, recruiting, commitment and bargaining. Option 2, intuition, recruiting, inspiration and bargaining. Option 2 is the right answer, and 22% people are right here. In the leaderboard, engineer Mihan is holding the first position. Our fourth question is, critical skill set needs for successful leaders, technical, human, and conceptual skills. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 1 is the right answer. 88% people are right here. In the leaderboard, engineer Mihan is holding the first position. Our fifth question is dash skill are crucial for leaders. Option 1 medium, option 2 hard. Option 2 is the right answer. 83% people are right here. In the leaderboard, engineer Mihan is holding the first position. Our sixth question is what skill do you require for critical thinking? Option 1 talking, listening, speaking, working, thinking. Option 2 analyze, communication, open-mindedness, problem solving, creativity. Option 2 is the right answer. 88% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kingway is holding the first position. Our seventh question is 3 of the 5 critical listening skills are option 1 positive feedback and outline, option 2 main idea notes and outlining. Option 2 is the right answer and 17% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Timoteo is holding the first position. Our eighth question is learning standard 5 is scientifically literacy and critical thinking skills. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Option 2 is the right answer and 17% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Timothy is holding the first position. Our second last question of the morning session is leader have 5 skills which cannot one of them. Option 1 communication, option 2 selfishness. Option 2 is the right answer and 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Theotomia is holding the fourth position. Our last and final question of the session is what is the best definition of critical thinking skills? Option 1 actively conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, and synthesizing information. Option 2 critically distributes work to individual and teams. Option 2 is the right answer and 95. Option 1 is the right answer and 95% people are right here. So congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.